today's topic of discussion would be radiation. Radiation is the quickest mode of heat transfer. We all know that, isn't it? And there are certain questions which we should think about, when we talk about heat transfer, right? So the questions like, how you get the sun rays from sun to the earth's surface, you can see, because there is no medium present between sun and the earth's atmospheric envelope. Still you get the heat from sun. Heat from the sun reaches earth, right? Now it happens due to owing to a phenomena called as radiation. We all know radiation will take place uh, with or without medium, isn't it? So it's the quickest mode of heat transfer. Fine. Let's move ahead. Let's talk about the cases which we have discussed earlier in 11th standard also regarding heat transfer. So we bifurcated the heat transfer into three different processes. One was conduction, second is convection, and the third one is radiation. Right. So your voice is breaking. Okay, Tanaya, am I audible, friends? Because
Yes, sir.
yeah, Tanaya, then you just rejoin. I mean, if my voice is breaking, maybe a signal problem with you people there. Because others are able to hear me clearly, I believe. Okay, so here you can see heat transfer when we talk about, we bifurcate it into three parts: conduction, convection, and radiation, right? So let's have a brief discussion about all these things. So how do we define conduction? Obviously, the molecules are known to migrate from one place to the. So how would the heat get transferred? It will get transferred from higher temperature to lower temperature without the actual migration. This process is called as conduction. Right. So you can take it in the animation. The particles get heat and then they transfer to the adjacent particles. There is no movement of particles, okay, migration of particles. This is how conduction will take. Okay, simple enough to understand. Let's move ahead then. Okay, we talk about convection. So here you can see the heat will get transferred from higher temperature point to the lower temperature with actual migration of molecules. This is what we have discussed. Due to the density difference, you can see what has happened. Uh, you know, the convection currents are being set up. That's what we have discussed earlier also. And because of the convection current, the heat gets entirely transferred or distributed in the liquid, you can see. Okay. Now in atmosphere also you come across this concepts like atmospheric convection, where due to the density difference, the warm air is going to move up and the cooler air will come down. Okay. Hopefully you have noted it down. Let's move ahead. Then comes our main topic, and that is radiation. Now, how do we define radiation? So it's a mode of heat transfer in form of electromagnetic waves. Okay. Now we all know that for radiation, even if the medium is present or it is not present, it is immaterial. Radiation will take place. Okay, and it takes place. You can see it takes place with the speed of light in this case. Okay? Remember that the speed of radiation would be 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Let's move ahead. Let's list few important points so far as radiation is concerned. Okay, so the first point you can say, you know, it does not require any medium as electromagnetic waves can travel through vacuum. This is the first point which we are making. Second, it will travel with the speed of light. More importantly, it travels along a straight line. So it propagates rectilinear propagation of radiation, you can say. Again, it would exhibit phenomena like reflection. So obviously, it's going to obey laws of reflection also. Okay. So you can see the same properties as those of light are exhibited here. In case of radiation, the properties which we are talking about are rectilinear propagation, reflection, refraction, interference, and so on. And the last point which we can make over here, the heat waves, they have smaller frequency and greater wavelength than that of red color. So therefore we call these waves as infrared waves. So whenever we talk about heat waves, the word infrared waves gets attached to it. And the reason is the point number 6 over here. You can please make a note of it before we move ahead. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. So let's talk about radiation. Let's talk about the spectrum, where exactly infrared waves would lie. So let's have a look at it. Okay, and note down this chart. You can say. So basically, when we talk about radiation, mostly we talk about the frequency ranges and the wavelength ranges for infrared rays, basically. Okay, so please make a note of it. And then what I'll do is I will share a quick video regarding radiation area. So, uh, 3 to 4 minutes video, friends. Please be a good observer in this case, okay? And then we will start getting into the details of radiation. Just give me a moment. I want you people to
Sir,
yes.
we aren't able to hear the audio if there is any.
Okay, hold on. How many of you are not able to hear the audio? Most of you? Or what?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Even I am not able to hear.
Yes, sir.
Even I am not able.
Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. Then what we will do is, okay, then I'll share it. I'll share it, some other time. No problem. Let's, let's start discussing this in greater detail. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, I'll see to it that the issue is sorted out, and then I'll show you the slides. Okay, let's get into it. She was talking about greenhouse effect. Okay, and how radiation uh, comes into picture over there. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about heat coefficients. Okay, so we are trying to build up some basics regarding radiation. Okay, simply stating 5 6 points on radiation is not enough. Now we need to get into bigger details of radiation. All right, so let's see. Okay. So what happens when heat is supplied to body? have a discussion on this. Say, for example, we have a body, a sphere, you can say, and some amount is of heat is incident on it. Say that amount is, say, Q in this case. So Q is the amount of heat incident on this body. Now, what's going to happen to this heat? So basically, what will happen is some amount of heat will be absorbed by the body, some amount will be reflected, and some amount will be transmitted. So let's say some amount is absorbed. So QA is the amount of heat which is absorbed out of Q which was incident on this body. All right. And then let's say QR is the amount of heat which is reflected, okay, so out of the incident heat Q. And the third part is, say, QT, which is the transmitted heat, you can say. So in a way, the total heat which was incident on the body Q can be bifurcated into three parts: QA, QR, and QT, where QA stands for the absorbed heat, QR stands for the reflected heat, and QT stands for the transmitted heat. Right. So let's see if we can frame some equation on this. Before we go ahead, please make a note of this. Okay, hopefully you have noted it down. Let's move ahead then. Let's frame some equations on this, or let's define some coefficients first. Okay. So this was the same body which we were talking about. So let's talk about the first coefficient, and we call it as coefficient of absorption. It's also called as absorptive power or absorptivity. Okay, that's another name for it. Denoted by small a. And how do you define it? It's simply the ratio, you can see, of amount of heat which was absorbed to amount of heat which is incident. Okay, so this is how you define coefficient of absorption: ratio of quantity of heat uh, absorbed by the body to the amount of heat incident on it. Similarly, we can define coefficient of reflection also. So it's denoted by small r. It's also called as reflective power. The other name for it is reflectivity. And how do you define it? You define it as the ratio of amount of heat reflected to amount of heat incident. Okay, and the third coefficient which we can define over here is coefficient of transmission. Other name is transmittivity or transmittive power, and it's denoted by small t. Again, it can be defined as a ratio, basically, a ratio of the amount of heat transmitted QT to the amount of heat incident. Okay, so based on these definitions and these equations, we will try to establish the relation between A, R, and T, or in simple words, the relation between coefficient of absorption, coefficient of reflection, and coefficient of transmission. So before we actually prepare some relation between them, just take a note of it and then we move ahead. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. So the basic equation would be, Q can be bifurcated into three parts: QA, QR, and QT. So the same thing we can do it over here, and we need to show together if you add them, it will amount to unity or one. Okay. Let's see how it works out. By principle of conservation of energy, we can say the heat energy can be bifurcated into three parts: QA plus QR plus QT, where QA stands for the amount of heat absorbed, QT stands for the amount of heat transmitted, QR stands for heat reflected. So divide this equation by Q throughout. So when you divide this equation by Q throughout, you get it in this format. Okay. So now here you can see in this equation, Q upon Q would be 1. But what about the first part? The first part is nothing but small a, coefficient of absorption. Second part is nothing but coefficient of reflection, so small r. And third one is transmission, coefficient of transmission, so small t. You can, by definition, you can replace this. Okay, QA by Q equal to A, QR by Q equal to R and QT by Q equal to T. When you put these values, you can actually prove that A plus R plus T is equal to 1. That means coefficient of absorption plus coefficient of reflection plus coefficient of transmission is equal to 1. Please make a note of this. You may be asked about this question in your book. Okay. Hopefully you have noted this down. Let's move ahead. Okay. So based on how the body is going to behave, so far as how it is going to react to the heat incident on it, we can define the body into different types. So one of the cases is dithermanous body. So here you talk about a body which through which heat can pass, heat radiation can pass. So such bodies are called as dithermanous. So can pass means the heat is transmitted, right? So quartz is an example for it. Hydrogen, then iodine, and oxygen. All dithermanous. The second type is earthermanous or adithermanous body. Here, these are the bodies through which heat cannot pass or heat cannot get transmitted. Coefficient of transmission will be 0 for such kind of body, right? And examples for such bodies would be like moist air, water, and wood. So please make a note of this before we get into the further details of this chapter. Okay, hopefully I've noted this down. Let's move ahead then. So let's understand what is perfectly black body. Okay, this is again a new terminology to be introduced in this chapter. This is a body which will absorb all the heat which is incident on it. That means, if some amount of heat is incident on perfectly black body, then nothing will get transmitted, nothing will get reflected. The entire amount of heat would be getting absorbed. Okay, so such body we call it as perfectly black body. So you can see a body which absorbs entire radiant heat of all wavelengths, obviously, incident on it at all temperatures is called as perfectly black body. Now, when I say that, obviously, coefficient of absorption for such kind of body will be 1 because the other coefficients would be 0, right? So you can have a look at it. Please make a note of this when we move ahead. So we can discuss few points regarding perfectly black body because this is the body which we want to deal with in this entire chapter. And then whatever concepts we try to understand in terms of perfectly black body, we will try to generalize it to the other ordinary bodies you can see, so far as heat transfer is concerned. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. Let's move ahead then. So let's talk about few points about perfectly black body. As I've said earlier, this is a body which will absorb entire heat. So nothing would be reflected, nothing would be transmitted in this case. So in that case, you can see for perfectly black body, coefficient of absorption would be 1. Small a is equal to 1. QA has to be equal to Q. Therefore, small a will be 1. What can you say about the other coefficient? So coefficient of reflection you can see, and coefficient of transmission has to be 0 then, because together A plus R plus T has to be 1. So here coefficient of reflection and coefficient of transmission would be 0 in this case. Then the next point which we can talk about perfectly black body, you can see it, whatever it's going to absorb will be emitted. So there is a difference between transmitted and emitted. Transmitted means the heat moves through the body and comes out straight away. So it won't remain as the property of the body basically. There is difference between transmission and emission. So when I say emit, that means the heat will stay in the body like its property, and then it will again give out the heat. Okay, so that's the difference between transmission and emission. So one has to be very careful about these two words. Okay, at times people get confused regarding these two words, transmission and emission. So here, what whosoever is the great absorber has to be great emitter also. So that's what is being mentioned in point 4, that a body which emits more. Why? Because it has absorbed more. So it's going to emit more as compared to the other bodies also. So here you can make a conclusive statement that emissive power of a black body is maximum, and therefore you can call it as the best emitter of heat radiation. Let's talk about the next point. You can always compare emissive power of any body with that of black body, because now perfectly black body is like an idealized concept. So you can always consider it as a reference. Important thing, so no body in the nature is perfectly black, but for the sake of study and considerations, lamp black, okay, this can be considered as perfectly black body because it will absorb 98% of it. That means still 2% is lost. So 98% absorption हो सकता है. Therefore, we call lamp black as perfectly black body. We are assuming it. Coefficient of absorption would be 0.98 because there is no perfectly black body found in nature. You can treat this as a black body, but artificially you can prepare black body. How we prepare it, that's the next point of discussion. So please make a note of this, friends. Okay. Hopefully you have noted it down. Let's move ahead then. Okay. So artificially, I was talking about we can create 100% absorbing body, perfectly black body, and we call it as Perry's black body. And how did he create it? So he took a hollow sphere, double-walled hollow sphere. You can see. So it's a double-walled hollow sphere, and then there is a small aperture over here, opening over here, and there will be a conical projection inside. And the inner part of the hollow sphere is painted with lamp black, right? So this is the construction basically. Evacuated space, then the double-walled sphere, okay, and then there is an opening like this, right? And there would be a conical projection, so we call this as aperture, okay. There is a conical projection. You can just check out this animation, okay, exactly opposite to the opening. So now what happens is when heat is incident like this, it is projected, it is incident on the conical projection directly. Because of that conical projection, what's going to happen, this will get internally reflected like this, you can see. So during every incidence, the heat will be absorbed, 98% of the heat will be absorbed, only 2% remains. So now it would again get reflected inside like this. So this is the second incidence. So here 98% of 2% will get absorbed, and so on, and the process will get carried. And within few reflections, you can see the entire heat will be absorbed. Now in this entire process, 100% of the heat is absorbed in few seconds. And therefore, this opening can be considered as perfectly black body. So artificially, you can prepare a perfectly black body like this, and such body will be called as Perry's black body. So you can see this is how, check out the animation over here, how Perry's black body will work. Okay, this is how you artificially prepare perfectly black body. We call it as Perry's black body. So please make a note of this before we move ahead. Okay, let's move ahead. Hopefully, you have made a note of this. This is the animation I was talking about. Within few reflections, you can see uh, because the inner part was painted with lamp black. Within few reflections, the entire heat is getting absorbed. Now let's define a concept called as emissive power. Every body which is a good absorbing body will have its own power to emit the heat. Obviously, if the perfectly black body is a body which is going to absorb more, obviously its power of emitting is also more. So, you can always talk about the emissive power in terms of how much heat a body can emit. So let's see. You all know everybody will radiate heat to the surroundings, and this rate of radiation will depend on certain factors. Okay, which are these factors? So let's talk about these factors. The first factor can be the temperature of the body. More is the temperature, more amount of heat is going to radiate. Okay. Second, the area, surface area. If the surface area is more, obviously you can see the emission will be more. Okay. Then the third point, nature or the color of the body. The black color emits more. We all know that, right? The fourth point is the time of exposure, or what time it is exposed, right? So these all factors will contribute to a concept called as emissive power of a body. How do we define emissive power then? So let's have a proper definition for emissive power. Time and again we are going to use this. The quantity of heat emitted by body per unit time per unit surface area at a given temperature for a given wavelength at that time. You have to be very specific about every word over here. This is how we define emissive power. Alright. So emissive power of a general body will be represented by capital E and not small e. Okay? So capital E specifically. So we all know, say Q is the amount of heat emitted in time T. Say let's say the surface area is A, then we can place the equation for emissive power as per our definition. So again we talk about the definition. So what is emissive power? The emissive power is the amount of heat emitted by a body per unit area per unit time at a given temperature. Okay, all right. So per unit time per unit area is important. So if Q is the heat, A is the area, T is the time. Let's put E equal to Q upon A into T, right? So this would be the equation for emissive power. So what can be the unit then? Obviously, if you're measuring heat in mechanical unit, it will be joule per meter square second or watt per meter square. You can say joule per second can be considered as power. Or thermal units, if you're talking about, then it would be kilocalorie per meter square second. Okay, so very, very important definition. Very, very important concept of emissive power. Time and again, we are going to use this concept. We are going to discuss about this concept in the entire chapter of radiation. Please make a note of it before we move ahead. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. Let's move ahead then. Just like coefficient of absorption, coefficient of emission, transmission, and coefficient of reflection, we have another coefficient called as coefficient of emission. The other name for it is emissivity, like absorptivity, and it is denoted by small e. So there is a difference between capital E and small e. Capital E resembles emissive power. Small e represents coefficient of emission or emissivity. And how do you define it? It's a comparison basically of emissive power of an ordinary body to emissive power of a black body. So obviously we know the emissive power of the black body is going to be the maximum. So we will take it as a reference. And we define coefficient of emission as ratio of emissive power of ordinary body to emissive power of perfectly black body. Now we all know since E is always going to be less than EB, so E will be less than 1. So one has to remember this. Okay, this logic is very, very important. We all know always EB will be greater. So obviously E will be always less than 1. Okay. So for perfectly black body, obviously E has to be 1, just like A was 1. Why? Because then E will be replaced by EB. So EB divided by EB will be 1. For other general bodies, obviously E will be less than 1. Okay. Please make a note of this. Okay. We will solve some problems on this concepts which we have studied right now. Give me a moment. So let's talk about some problems on the concepts which we have studied, the basic concepts which we have introduced here for radiation. Okay. So let's talk about the problem. Here in this problem, it says the coefficient of absorption of the surface of a body is 0.68. When 100 calories of heat is incident on the body, 27 calories are reflected from its surface. Find the coefficient of transmission of the body. So let's see what all things are given to us. So when we talk about given things, you can see coefficient of absorption. That means small a is given to us as 0.68. Total energy which is incident in the body is 100 calorie. Then they say the amount of heat which is reflected out of that 100 calorie is 27 calories. Okay, these are the given things. Then what we are supposed to find out? We are supposed to find out the coefficient of transmission in this case. Let's say A is given to us. Let's find out R. So we have the formula for it. So R will be given as QR divided by Q. Right. So let's go for the solution then. Let's find out R first of all. So R will be 27 divided by 100. Comes out to be, and then we would be using this equation A plus R plus T equal to 1. Okay. Just put the values of A, R, and then shuffle it. The only unknown is T. That's how you get the coefficient of transmission of the body as 0.05. Now, if they ask how much heat is transmitted, then obviously you will multiply 100 by 0.05 and you'll get what amount of heat was transmitted in this. The answer you have to place it in terms of a statement. Okay, so coefficient of transmission of the body is 0.05. So please go ahead and make a note of it. Okay, hopefully done. Let's move ahead. Let's try solving another question on the same concept basically. Okay, here comes the next numerical. What they say, an earth thermalus metal plate has the coefficient of absorption 0.65. The quantity of heat 500 kilocalorie is incident on the plate. Find the quantities of the heat absorbed and reflected. Let's see. What are the given things? Let's put the given things in order first. So here, the first thing which is given to you is the coefficient of absorption, and it is 0.65. Second is the amount of heat incident on the plate, and that is say 500 kilocalories given to you. You're supposed to find, okay, indirectly T is given to you as 0. Why? Because they're talking about earth or manus metal plate. It's not going to transmit anything. Therefore, coefficient of transmission is 0. Okay, let's see, because it is an earth or manus body. So what we are supposed to find then, the amount of heat absorbed and reflected. So we are supposed to find QA and QR. QA stands for amount of heat absorbed and QR stands for amount of heat reflected, because the amount of heat transmitted will be zero because it's a Earth manosphere. Formula we have A plus R plus T equal to 1. This is something which we have derived in this section. And we all know QA upon Q is A. Similarly, QR upon Q is R. So based on these formulas, we can estimate the requirements basically over here. Let's go ahead. Using A plus R plus T equal to 1, we can work out small r as 1 minus 0.65, that is 0.35. So obviously, if this is the formula which we are using, the amount of heat absorbed will be A into Q. And we get the answer as 0.65 into 500. This is the amount of heat absorbed. So out of 500 kilocalories, you can see the amount of heat which was absorbed was 325 kilocalories. Please make a note of this so that we can move ahead towards the remaining part of this solution. Okay, hopefully done. Let's move ahead then. So we got the amount of heat absorbed. So let's see how we get amount of heat reflected. We know the formula QR upon Q equal to small r, so which gives us QR equal to R into Q. We know coefficient of reflection is 0.35 multiplied by 500. We will get the answer as 175 kilojoules. This is the amount of heat reflected. You can see absorbed heat is 325, reflected is 175, transmitted is 0. Together you add them, that satisfies the condition of the problem. The total amount of heat was incident was 500 kilocalories. Please make a note of this before we move ahead towards the next type of question. Okay, let's try dealing with the next type of question over here. Here comes the next question, question 3. They say radiant energy is incident on a body at a rate of 1500 joule per minute. If the coefficient of emission of the body, here they are talking about coefficient of emission, not transmission, is 0.9, then the coefficient of reflection is, and the coefficient of reflection they say is 0.06. So we are supposed to find the radiant energy which is absorbed, reflected, and transmitted by the body in 5 minutes time. This is something which we need to work out. Let's say what all given things. Just let's sort down the given things. So amount of heat, rate of heat basically incident is 1500 joules per minute. Right. Then they're talking about 5 minutes. So amount of heat which would be incident in 5 minutes time would be, obviously you will multiply this by 5. So that amounts to 7500 joules per time. Coefficient of emission. So whatever heat is emitted, obviously it has to be absorbed first. So whatever is the coefficient of emission would be coefficient of absorption. We are actually going to prove this also. Why coefficient of absorption has to be equated to coefficient of emission. Right. So but as of now, you can see in this problem, you take it as 0.9. So indirectly, you can say the coefficient of absorption is given to you as 0.9. Okay. Then coefficient of reflection is given to you as 0.06. Okay. And then we need to find out the other parameters. Okay. Like the coefficient of transmission. Now we have the formula. Okay, so we are supposed to find out QA, QR, QT. So for finding these things, first formula which we are going to use is A plus R plus T is equal to 1. Alright, so using this we can find out coefficient of transmission. And then once you work it out, then amount of heat absorbed will be A into Q, transmitted will be T into Q, and reflected will be obviously R into Q. Let's go for the solution then. The first step to be performed over here is A plus R plus T equal to 1, put the values and get the coefficient of transmission. When you simplify it, the coefficient of transmission comes out to be 0.045. Okay, so once you get coefficient of transmission, then we can get the amount of heat absorbed as A into Q, and other parameters as well. Before I show you the solution next slide, remaining part of the solution, please make a note of this. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. Let's move ahead then. Here you can see this is the amount, okay, 0.9 into 7500, that is 6750 in 5 minutes. Amount of heat absorbed in 5 minutes. Similarly, amount of heat reflected in 5 minutes would be 0.006 into 7500. This is the amount of heat reflected in 5 minutes, okay, 450 joules. And let's talk about the transmitted heat. So it will be T into Q. So T comes out to be 0.04 multiplied by 7500. So the amount of heat transmitted will come out to be 300 joules in 5 minutes.